Hey, everybody. Before we get you into this episode of Our Kids Play Hockey, we want to give a big shout out to our title sponsor, NHL Sense Arena, who were recently given access to the Meta Store. That has been something they have been trying to achieve for a long time. And right now, in your VR headset, if you go to the Meta Store, guess what's there? NHL Sense Arena. You no longer have to go to their website to download the game. We've said it many times on this show. We love what Sense Arena is able to provide for you, the listener, to your young hockey player in a VR way to experience the game like never before. And as you can imagine, now that they're on the Meta Store, things have changed a little bit. We are now offering 10% off an annual plan of NHL Sense Arena when you use the code, and you might want to write this one down, HNS-72A36D. Leave it to Facebook for an ad like that, HNS-72A36D, and that'll get you 10% off your annual plan of NHL Sense Arena on the Meta Store. But without any further ado, let's dive into this episode of Our Kids Play Hockey right now. Hello, hockey skaters and goalies around the world, and welcome back to another edition of the Ride to the Rink. It is summertime, Mike. It's summer. It's hot outside where I'm at. I'm sweating when I go outside. Not my favorite thing to do. Hopefully, you kids out there are playing multiple sports this time of year. You're in the baseball, you're in the soccer, you're in the lacrosse, whatever you like to do. But some of you, many of you, if you're listening to this show, most likely play summer league hockey or spring league hockey, depending on when you're listening to this. And we wanted to do a quick ride to the rink about how to enjoy summer league and spring league, because most summer and spring leagues, Mike, do not have practices. It's one game a week. It's real loose. You typically have a fun jersey on. It might be an outside highlighter color. It might be something cool that you put together. But in my opinion, and kids, listen, summer and spring hockey should be a blast. It should be fun. This is your time to go out there without the fear of a league or a title or anything, and just enjoy yourself, hopefully with your friends, and then work freely on things that you want to get better at, no matter what position you play. It's not about doing stuff crazy on the ice that's going to put your team in a bad spot, but this is that low-pressure league time of the season where you can just go out there and enjoy the game. You should be enjoying it year-round. You should be. But again, no practices, one game a week. Mike, I think summer league is just a party in the summer when it comes to hockey.
Yeah, and it's not so much about putting your teammates in your team in a bad place. It's about your ability to try different things and have the freedom to try those things. Most of us don't get that during a season because we're worrying about what the score is at any given time.
Right.
Hopefully in a spring and a summer league, we're not worrying about that. It depends on what level you're at. If you're playing in a really cool 3-on-3 cross ice league as an 8-year-old, or you're playing in a high school, summer league as a high school player. If you're a defenseman, try playing forward. If you've never tried center, try it out. If you,
that's a great
listen,
point. Yeah.
I've had so many youth players in spring league because they're dying for goaltenders. I've tried goaltender. I'm like, okay, I'll never do that again. But try it.
Or you're born into a goalie, or you become a goalie. That's what happened to my son.
Yeah. Or you say, oh, wow, I'm really actually good at this, so I'm going to try it again. So I think it's just a matter of using this time and this little window of opportunity to still develop your skills, develop your love for playing, have some fun, try different things, but don't stress out about making a bad play or not making the right play. But at the same thought process, make sure you just don't get into really bad habits,
right?
And don't get into things where it's not realistic, depending on the level you're playing in. Listen, if you're fortunate to get to play like spring or summer league hockey with a bunch of friends you normally wouldn't get to play with because maybe you're at a higher level than them, this is the time where you should have 40 assists in a game, right? This is the time when you can now dictate the ice and influence the play. Use that to your advantage. And I think just in closing on my end, I would just say, if you're in those environments too, remember anytime you're an athlete and anytime you're in, especially hockey rinks, because they're far and few between, right? There's a lot less hockey rinks than basketball courts and tennis courts,
pickleball courts,
and pickleball courts and baseball diamonds. Think about how you conduct yourself. Think about how you're acting. Think about what you're saying to officials and other parents and coaches. Don't allow this to be the free-for-all of spring and summer, of losing the fact of who you are as a player. And I see it all the time, that it almost like players in the spring and the summer lose perspective that they're still being looked at and evaluated and talked about and you don't want to leave the rink after getting kicked out of a spring league game because you thought it was meaningless, but somebody else didn't think it was meaningless about the way you acted. So just be very aware of that we let our guard down because it is spring and summer, but don't let your guard down so much to make yourself look bad.
Yeah, Mike, I think these are great points. And like I said, when I say it's a party, I mean a party for you to amplify the things that you do well and work on the things maybe you don't do well. This isn't the time to try 15 Michigans a game, right? It might be time to try one if it presents itself, okay? To be fair, if you want to have fun with that. Yep. But it's not time to try 15. It's not time to do something crazy. Listen, I've maintained, and players, listen to me, I've maintained this for years. You want to be great at forward, play defense. You want to be great at defense, play forward. This is a great opportunity for you to try other positions, as Mike said, to learn some perspective on that. Also, Mike, we didn't talk about this. I know a young man who plays spring and summer league at a different rink with different kids, so he can interact with different hockey players. And I think that's a really great thing that he does, right? You meet new people, you meet new types of players. You have to learn how to deal with that. That experience in those environments, right, help make you more well-rounded, not just as a hockey player, but as a person. But I do want to close this with saying before I'm going to throw it back to you too, that make sure you consider playing other sports as well. As much as I loved playing summer and spring hockey, you should also be looking forward to some of those other spring and summer sports. They're very important for your development. Playing hockey year-round nonstop is not awesome. It's not awesome for you. Right? You got to take the mental break. You got to take the physical change and look at other things. Mike, you have something else?
Yeah, unless, of course, it's roller hockey or floorball or street hockey.
That's a different sport.
But I listen, it's hard to do that when you're a kid. It's hard for a parent to go, oh, my God, if they miss these 3 weekends in a row, they're not going to advance. It's, if you're a good hockey player, you're going to be a good hockey player in August, just like you were in April. Right. And I think just take the time to refresh, get yourself in a different mindset, let your body rest.
Right.
Go hit some tennis balls, go hit some golf balls, go play a little pickleball, go play catch, go swimming,
go play an instrument,
anything. Just go do something and find a bunch of other kids in your neighborhood. And if you're lucky, you're going to find, a lot of lifelong friends that love coming to watch you play hockey during the winter. Yeah, no, I think that's true, Mike, and it's fantastic advice. Well, that is going to do it for this edition of the Ride to the Rink about summer and spring league. Remember, kids, we believe in you. We're doing these little mini shows because we believe in you, and we can't thank you enough for listening. Remember, you can hear all of the Ride to the Rink episodes at ourkidsplayhockey.com. Or if you want to hear the full episodes of Our Kids Play Hockey, the whole hour-long episodes, you can sit them through with your parents, ourkidsplayhockey.com. But for Mike Benelli, I'm Lee Elias. Thanks so much for listening to this edition of the Ride to the Rink. Have a great week, and remember, skate on.